While Team 5 has made it infinitely easier in 2023 to build up your collection, now with catch-up packs and all of the ways to get additional packs in-game, that does not mean we all know what card is best, especially without a full collection. So I'm going through 10 amazing epic cards to add to your decks. First off, this is in no particular order. Some of these are in the core collection, so they will not cost anything. Some of them will have a crafting cost, but if you have a 30 card deck or a 40 card deck, depending on what you're playing, and you need a couple of tech choices, not sure what to put in, here's some suggestions for you. Again, no particular order, but the first one I'd like to talk about, it's pretty new. It's Audio Amplifier, 2 mana, 2/3 mech, and its battle cry is set your maximum mana and hand size to 11. This is not meant to be a minion on board. It's not meant, unless you have a mech-centric deck, to be another minion for you. The main goal for this is you can set your maximum mana and hand size to 11. So if you're running into situations where you're finding yourself, you need just one more mana, or you're always drawing too much and you need that one extra space, it would be silly not to put this card in your deck, at least for a little bit, until maybe you grab another, tech card that might be good. But this also, it does work well if you have a mech-centric deck. So Mech Rogue, I would put this in just for that simple fact of it will also work with all the mechs that are in your deck. Next up is the 8 mana Son of Hodir. It's an 8/8 with a battle cry of shuffle 4 8/8 giants into your deck that are summoned when drawn. And this one, your mileage may vary on this. You may have, for example, a deck that has a lot of spells, not a lot of minions, or you need something late in the game because you keep on getting hit in the face many times because you do not have a lot of opposition for your opponent. I would put this in. It's an 8/8 on the board right then and there, and then it gives you the opportunity to draw more larger minions as you're going through the next couple of turns. It could actually save your face from getting hit, because if I see something that's an 8/8 on my opponent's side, I'm going to do what I can to take that opponent out before I start hitting them in the face. So it's a good option there that you can use. You could put 2 in if you want, but I would definitely consider this if you need more minions to be able to face your opponents. Next up, 8 mana 4/8 Primordial Drake. It's a dragon, so it will sync with all of the dragon synergies that came out recently. It has taunt, and then the battle cry is deal 2 damage to all other minions. Yes, it says all other minions, so it will hit your minions if there is any, but it's just a way of putting something on the board that has a taunt, so it has to be countered. You have to make sure that, your opponent is taking care of that, and then it gives the ability, especially if they have a lot of small mana minions, small health minions, you might be able to wipe and clear their entire board. So something to absolutely consider, and like I said, it also synergizes with all of the dragons that are out there. Next up, Insatial Devourer. It's a 9 mana 4/4. It doesn't seem too powerful, but it's very powerful. So it's got the Infuse, and its battle cry is devour an enemy minion and gain its stats. Infuse 5, which means that you have to have this in your hand when 5 of your minions on your board die. It will also devour its neighbors and grab its stats. So this could be an infinitely huge minion that's on your board just by keeping this in your hand when you draw it and ready for that perfect time. What are we seeing a lot of right now? We're seeing a lot of minions that have high health. So this could swing the game from, okay, I'm probably going to lose, to, okay, the opponent has 1 turn to clear this, or you've already won just by smacking them into the face. And yeah, also, it's very high mana, but you could put 2 of these if you're looking to add 2 cards to your deck, and then it's just one after the other. So it's a good suggestion. I've seen this in Mage and a couple other decks that do not have a lot of minions, and this will, like I said, swing the game. Next up, everybody's seen this. 4 mana 4/4 Naga School Teacher. So it's a Naga. It synergizes with all the Nagas right now that are going on, and its battle cry is add a 1/1 Nagaling to your hand and discover a spell that costs 3 or less to teach it. So when you do this, you pick the spell from 3 spells that are 3 mana or less, and then that little 1/1 Nagaling that costs 1 mana will be able to pop off that spell. So remember, if you don't have 5 mana, when you play this, you will not be able to play that Nagaling until the next turn. So be careful for that. But this is good. This is powerful. There's a lot of 3 mana spells that'll help swing a couple of turns your way, benefit you greatly, keep yourself a little bit more safe, and then you just have that 1/1 in your back pocket for later use. Good suggestion. And again, yeah, you could put 2 of these in your deck without a problem. Next up, 4 mana 2/4 Beast, Smothering Starfish. This could be the bane of a lot of opponents' existence. Its battle cry is silence all other minions. Now remember, it says all other minions, so whatever you have on the board is getting silenced as well, but this helps it helps swing the board the right way. If you have something that needs to be taken care of, or maybe it's a huge taunt, or maybe it's a, some sort of other spell synergy, or something that'll interact with their next turn, it just erases it and makes them silenced. If you have a minion on your opponent's side that is huge from all these buffs or what have you, ready to hit you right square in the eyes, you can just turn it into its original original health and mana. This is something that I would definitely consider using. It has been used not very recently. I've seen a little bit of resurgence, and again, it's a beast, so it synergizes with all the beasts that are in the game right now. Next up, 2 mana 0/7 Doomsayer, and we've seen this for a long time. In fact, when I first started playing the game, I've seen this as one of the first pain in the butt cards that I've ever played. And then it's at the start of your turn, destroy all minions. Right now, with the way things are going in the game, it's very easy to knock this off and kill it, but low mana turns, like turn 3, turn 4, they might not be able to kill it off. So something to consider. Like I said, you're trying to fill out, you're looking for one piece of a deck that you're not really refined yet. This might be an opportunity to keep them from throwing anything on the board at that next turn, because knowing it's just going to be gone. Next up, Dirty Rat. 2 mana 2/6 with taunt, battle cry, your opponent summons a random minion from their hand. This is a very good card if you use it the right way. Whatever you do, do not use this turn 2. Do not use this on turn 3, in my opinion. And turn 4, I wouldn't use this sparingly. This is for longer in the game, because usually at 2 mana, you throwing this out, there could be something very large in their hands that just makes the game completely unplayable. Imagine have them throwing out one of their 8/8s with taunt or something other besides that you just have no way of attacking or countering for a couple of turns. So I would not advise using this on turn 2 or turn 3. I would think about it on turn 4, but you could put 2 of these in your deck, and at the later stages of the game, when you have things to counter, this could break their entire OTK or their entire, board presence for the next turns. You can swing the game in your direction. Next up, 2 mana 2/3. It's all, so it's everything. It's a beast, it's a murloc, it's a naga, it's everything. Amalgam of the Deep, and its battle cry is choose a friendly minion. Discover a minion of the same minion type. This one I would put in if you do not have a lot of a specific class. So if you're playing a deck that's all mechs and you want more mech synergy, throw this in if you do not have an extra mech to put in, because this will discover a minion of that mech type. And the cool thing is you might not have that mech. You might not have it in your hand. You might not have that specific card. You have the ability to grab a really cool mech tech card that you could swing the game in the right direction. So a lot of decks you've seen in the past, if you've been playing for any period of time, Amalgam of the Deep has been in a lot of decks specific to any type of tribe, like beasts or mechs. Like I said, something to absolutely consider throwing these in. I would throw both of them in the deck. Last up, almost the same thing. It's a 1 mana 1/3 Mistake, and it has all minion types. So again, if you're using something with tribe synergy, so if you're using something that needs a lot of beasts, here's a beast right here. So for an example, one of the pop-offs is recently, if you use an elemental each and every turn, counts toward a bigger payoff with a couple other payoff cards, and you can throw this on turn 1 and boom, there's your elemental or whatever you need to meet that tribe requirements, and it's 1 mana. It's a 1/3, so it's going to take a little bit for it to move off the board. If you have a 1 mana 1/3 on the board turn 1, that's a mech, and it has magnetic. If the other card, has magnetic, you can have something much more powerful on the board turn 2 and really give your opponent something to look after instead of building their board or their synergies. They're trying to fight off this what could be a monstrosity of a hand. This is something I would absolutely consider using also as well. And that's it. Here's 10 amazing cards that you can use of the epic variety to add to your decks. Until you get a stronger collection, this might be something to consider. I'm not saying to drop everything and to, dust other cards to craft these, but if you're looking for something to, tech out a custom deck that you're building or just add that 1 or 2 more cards, I think this is a good idea to take a look at some of these. And please let me know in the comments your suggestion. If there's any epic cards that you think should have been on this list, I tried to keep it low and pick 10. Let me know your thoughts. All right. Talk to you soon. See you in the next video.